Welcome to Yoga Talk. My name is Diane Covanda, and with me here today is Nancy Costello. Thanks for coming over, Nancy.
Thanks for having me, Diane.
And Nancy, you are a yoga teacher, a certified kind yoga teacher.
Yes, I am.
And you're also an integrative nutrition health coach, which I want to hear all about how you could eat like a yogi, or some information about the integrity of our food and eating, and any kind of tips you have today for the viewers at home. If you could just tell us a little bit about nutrition from your standpoint as a yoga teacher.
Well, let's think about eating a little bit more plant-based. Doesn't mean everyone has to be a vegan or a vegetarian. It's not for everyone. But if you could just eat more plant-based, so bringing more of those plant-based foods into your diet.
Like, what do you mean plant-based? Like salads or?
Salads, absolutely. And then there's also your grains, if you want to bring in your grains. So really the great grains you want to think about: quinoa, millet, barley, maybe bringing in brown rice instead of having your white rice, and staying away from white rice or white flour, going more with whole grains so that it's a complex carbohydrate.
I get it.
So it's a healthier grain to bring in, instead of just having your white starches, because there's really no nutrition in a white starch.
So it's sort of filler.
It's a filler. Yeah, we love it, but it's not.
What will happen if you're starting to go a little bit more adding green stuff and great grains and plant-based foods into your diet? What kind of benefits have you seen people have when they change their diet just a little bit like that?
Well, there's a lot of changes you'll see. So first of all, you'll start to lose weight.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
I'm all over it.
Yeah, you'll definitely lose weight for one. You'll feel a difference in your energy. Your energy will be a lot higher. So that's a big part of it right there. And you'll even feel better overall. You're going to notice a difference. So as you're eating, notice how you're feeling when you're done eating. You know, a lot of times we'll choose foods because that's what tastes good. And granted, yeah, we all love our comfort food. We all want to have that yummy stuff, you know.
Mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah, and I love pizza. But you know, I feel different when I eat my pizza versus if I eat my foods that are really healthy. You know, having that whole rainbow on your plate of your vegetables, you know, so having the greens and the reds and the yellows and the oranges.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, you don't have to know.
I love to think about that way.
Yeah, you don't have to know what is in everything, but if you look at what is on your plate and you're seeing all those different colors, you're going to hit all the different nutrients just by having those different colors. And
wow, I didn't think of that. So I wonder, I'm just thinking through this right now, I wonder if those different nutrients actually cause some of the vegetables to be different colors. Like I think of beets have lots of iron.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
that shows up as red.
Yes,
Huh,
for sure.
interesting.
Absolutely. So you can not have to know what's in all of your vegetables, you know, whether you're getting your A, your C, your K, your magnesium, whatever.
You don't have to micromanage anything.
No, you don't have to know all that. Just go for all the different colors, you know. And water, having a lot of water. A lot of times people's diets in themselves aren't healthy just because of what they're drinking. Look at what you're drinking throughout the day.
So does Pepsi or other sodas count as water?
No.
Oh.
No. I mean, granted, it will give you some hydration. Everything you drink gives you some hydration. But the issue with that is you're also taking in a lot of sugar, artificial colors. If you're drinking diet, artificial sweeteners. Just look at the label. Because if you just look at what's in that soda, and you can't even pronounce most of the things that are in it, then you have to, just like common sense, you know that that's not good for you. So that's actually one of the things you want to avoid. Granted, if you want to have a soda occasionally as a treat, absolutely. But really your number one source of liquids to hydrate yourself should be water.
Plain old.
Plain old water. It's like just go into the basics. Go for the water.
You know, one thing I do is I flavor my water. I'll put a tea bag in of herbal tea, like peppermint tea, and then have peppermint water. And that feels like it gets my taste buds interested.
It's
Because
more of
I
a treat.
haven't gotten to the place of just plain water all the time. I've got to have flavors.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of ways you could flavor your water. So with your tea bag, it doesn't have to just be straight water. Well, what if you put in some fresh fruit in there? Squeeze in some lemons, some
Oh, neat.
oranges, grapefruit. There's so many things you can do to flavor your water and make it fun.
Cool.
So it doesn't have to be straight water all the time.
Right.
You know?
Okay, good.
No.
So there's some leeway here.
Absolutely. Put some fresh mint in there.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that you had mentioned to me earlier was about GMOs and things like that, and I think there's a lot in the news about it, but most people don't really know what that is. Can you just say a little bit about how our food is changing?
Absolutely. So a lot of the foods now, and people don't understand this or know this, and it's really not fair to the consumer because our government doesn't label it. So I think what's really important for us to know is that the government is not labeling our food. So if your food doesn't say USDA organic, then probably and most likely your food is genetically modified. So what does that mean? Genetically modified means that GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. So what they take is they take a cell in a laboratory of, say, a tomato, and take a cell in a laboratory of something else. We'll just say it's a fish cell. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. So they're taking cells of two different things and putting them together and calling it a tomato. But it's not necessarily a tomato because it's genetically modified now. And not only that, they're putting in a pesticide so that it's doesn't supposedly need Roundup so that the bugs will keep it off of it, stay away from it, so that they don't have to use pesticides on these crops.
Wow.
But that's not actually what has happened. What has happened is they've genetically modified these crops, and not only is that pesticide now inside of that fruit or vegetable, but now the bugs have become super bugs that are resilient, and now they can still get to these genetically modified fruits and vegetables. So now they're having to spray even heavier pesticides and chemicals on our fruits and vegetables.
That's shocking.
It is shocking, and it's upsetting.
I have honeybees at home. Well, I don't. They died, actually, a hive of honeybees, and I certainly did a lot of research about why did my honeybees die, and there's a lot of research out there that there are some superbugs that can tolerate these genetic changes that have pesticide already growing inside the plant, but our honeybees are not one of those superbugs. They're not able to handle that, so they do go off and die after visiting that flower. Is that anything that you've...
It's absolutely true. And that is the problem with the bees, the honeybees, because now these genetically modified foods are have to be so much more stronger and so much heavier pesticides have to go on them that it's killing the honeybees.
Wow.
Because they can't survive against these high pesticides and chemicals. And there's a lot of different people out there really trying to fight this and trying to make our government label our foods that are genetically modified so that we as consumers know what we're actually getting. Because right now we don't, and it's not fair to us. We think we're eating healthy. You know, we get a great salad or any fruits and vegetables and like, oh, this is so good, and we think we're being so healthy, but little do we know it's genetically modified and heavily pesticide.
Wow.
So,
So even I've been to like yoga retreats where we're given all kinds of amazing buffets, and you know, it's all salads, and we think we're eating great food, but if each single food hasn't been researched about where that came from and who did what to it, then we really don't know what we're eating. We're doing yoga to stay healthy and breathing and stretching and getting stronger, and yet then there's this undercurrent of food that we really are unaware of what's going on.
true. It's so true.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah, that's the whole big thing is awareness, you know, and having awareness about this. So some suggestions for this would be buying local when you can. And I know it's hard here for us on the East Coast because we can't always get local year-round, but as best as we can, buy local, buy organic when you can, and local organic is probably your best bet. You know, and even if you can grow some of your own things at home when we're in season, that's a great idea too. But looking for that, and also too, there's a new label that's coming out called Pure Integrity Verified Seal.
Pure Integrity Verified Seal.
And it's going to be the shape of a heart, and to look for this seal, because fuelforthebody.org is the website if you want to go on to find out more about it, and you can click on the Pure Integrity Verified Seal. This seal will be coming onto products, and you'll be seeing them more and more, but this way you know that they have to go through a higher qualification process in order to get this seal, and it will also mean that it's not genetically modified. It'll also mean it is above the USDA standards for organic.
That's great.
Yeah, and
so
also
somebody's doing your homework for you.
Exactly. And it's also in integrity for the planet, so that we have a sustainable planet and to help our planet for clean air, clean water, clean food.
When you say planet, when I think of, okay, honeybees are being affected and dying off, that's like a signal to our communities and folks to notice. It's like the canary that they used to bring down into the coal mine. If the canary died, the coal miners were noticing, uh-oh, something's wrong with the air. And we need to pay attention to what's disappearing, what's dying off, because it's certainly affecting us.
Absolutely.
Right?
And whenever you see a big shift like that, it's like, okay, what's going on?
It says, pay attention.
Pay attention, because something's happening in nature that should not be happening. That means there's something wrong going on, and we need to open up our eyes. And every time you go in and every time you buy something at the grocery store, you're casting your vote.
That's right.
You are casting your vote on what you want to see.
You're making a difference with what you buy.
Absolutely.
And if you're just going for what's cheaper right now, it's not cheaper in the long run, because it causes you health problems. It causes all kinds of things that we're not even aware of, because we're genetically modifying ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
We're ingesting these things that we don't know what a long-term effect will be in 20 years. Do you have any suggestions that a viewer right now could do, maybe 2 things that they could start with?
Yes. So first of all, eating organic whenever you can. And the second suggestion I would say is to limit your processed foods. And limiting your processed foods, I would say a processed food is anything that's in a wrapper that's not a whole food, a whole fruit, a whole vegetable, and even a whole meat. But trying to avoid your processed foods, and when you do eat a processed food, read your label. And try to have the labels be everything you can understand. When you start getting into big words you don't understand, then those are probably things that we shouldn't be eating.
If we can't pronounce them, we shouldn't be eating them.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. That's so true. That's
Thank you, Nancy. I really appreciate you sharing this information with us.
Thank you. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, I want you back to do some yoga with us.
Sounds fun.
Okay, great.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.